So Brett Gutting just confirmed that the XRP market cap will replace the Bitcoin market cap, just as XRP price chart actually puts XRP at over $297.89 in under 12 days. Guys, this is massive, and it's unfolding right in front of our eyes right now. Take a look and listen closely.
From the get-go, Ripple has worked with regulators, and we have worked with regulated institutions like banks where there isn't regulatory uncertainty. And so we have found that part of the reason why XRP has performed well is because people realize, hey, wait a minute, back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? Back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? If we work with the system to solve this problem, and we can solve that problem at scale, a problem measured in the trillions of dollars, then there's a lot of opportunity to create value in XRP.
Yeah, so what's affecting the price of XRP has been the SEC. People forget, frankly, before the SEC got involved in the crypto markets, XRP was the second most valuable digital asset, ahead of ETH. And then the SEC got involved and said, hey, we think ETH is probably okay, and ETH went up, and then they sued Ripple, and XRP went down. This is not how our government is supposed to work. We're supposed to have a level playing field and have equal opportunity. We shouldn't have our government picking winners and losers in this regard. We think in the long run we'll prevail, and that'll sort itself out. But for now, it's frustrating for the community, and I liked the way you characterized it, for the XRP family.
Do they?
Yeah. And this is only the beginning. Imagine the scale that XRP is going to reach, specifically when you get Eric Trump praising Ripple CEO Brett Gutting and saying that he knows XRP specifically. Just listen as to how he mentions XRP. Almost seems like the Eric Trump owns a ton of XRP.
How do you feel about Doge? How do you feel about XRP Ripple? How do you feel about Ethereum? Where are you with the other three?
Know all of them extremely well. Know Brad very well at XRP, and he's done a great job. Know Ethereum very well. I'm one of the guys who was early on this year saying,
all right, guys, now the money is flowing, and millions will literally be made very, very soon. Talking about XRP and the XRP ledger, we can't forget that the XRP ledger is housing more than just XRP and XRP payments. As the market right now is retracing, and we're likely going to see a massive breakout in the next couple of days, there's one thing that you need to understand, and that is people make the most money in fear. Times like this, exactly like what you're looking at, are literally the times that people make millions of dollars. Take a look at the XRP charts like this, where XRP is about to soar from a penny, or from where we're currently at, which is almost $2, to almost $300 potentially. Or another project that is literally about to dominate a $650 trillion market directly on the XRP ledger and go from 3 cents to over $65,000. Yes, it's happening right in front of our eyes. Take a look at this. On December 5th, a major historical milestone will commence for the RealFi ecosystem, and we're talking the Real token specifically will surge massively. Like, we're talking over 40 million users and more than $5 billion in daily transaction volume will officially be unlockable, directly, instantly accessed into the Real token. What does that mean? Well, it means that now a massive amount of money can now potentially flow into the Real token directly and surge in price. Now, obviously, when we talk about the Real token, there's a very, very low supply. We're talking a max supply of 1 billion, which is actually nothing when you talk about the scale that they're going to be unlocking. Like with a $650 trillion market, you can imagine that because they have a max supply of 1 billion, their current, I think, phase 2 supply is 122 million, which is nothing, but that would literally trigger, if they just capture 1% of the massive $650 trillion market, 1% of it, if it goes into Real token, you're talking about the Real token going from 3 cents to over $65,000. And it gets crazier when in under 2 weeks, on December 5th, the Real token will literally get listed on a major centralized exchange. Guys, just imagine the scale that we are talking about here, right? Just imagine the scale. When you talk about the amount of money that's going to be facilitated, and just look at any real world asset project that's listed on centralized exchanges, all their market caps are in the hundreds of billions. If Real token were to do that, the price would soar into the thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. But again, you don't realize that until it's too late. Like people that bought Bitcoin at $1, yes, it was complicated. The price ended up reaching $120,000. They became multi-millionaires. Imagine that. And the same thing that we're talking about could happen here. Again, it's once in a lifetime opportunity that it comes, and it never comes again. This is your chance to get in early on a project that's solving a real multi-trillion dollar problem that's actually facilitating real transactions, and that just recently is backed by a company that unlocked over 10,000 plus properties for you to be able to actually buy real estate directly on the XRP ledger using the real token. And just look at this. The potential is massive. Like if you look clearly, they're so strong. There's very strong support levels, very low resistance. I mean, the potential here is just insane. Look at this chart, guys, ready to literally soar. And so again, you gotta be doing your research. You gotta look into this because the potential, again, once in a lifetime opportunities, very rare to come, but there's a lot of potential right here, and specifically on the XRP ledger. And the best part is it's backed by a massive institution that is rumored to be partnering with Ripple as well. I mean, these guys, again, literally like to buy multi-million-dollar properties using the XRP ledger directly. And they do this using directly the real token. Imagine that. You can literally buy real estate using the real token. So obviously you can definitely do research. And that's the whole emphasis. You gotta be looking into things. You gotta be doing your research. You gotta be making your own informed decision. So I'll be leaving all the links down below in the description, RealFi.com. You can also visit here, therealchain.com as well, to learn more about the actual blockchain. But obviously, I got myself a nice juicy bag. I mean, I think it's clearly very, very, very bullish. And you should also do your research as well, definitely. And again, if we take a look at this, the momentum is about to actually begin picking up.
That could be resolved in a variety of ways, but it could also be resolved in regulation coming in over the top. We know it's imminent, though, right? So when I say imminent, I would be surprised if a quarter from now we're really still embroiled in the SEC lawsuit, because I think the state of affairs throughout the world is such that we're going to need a solution like an XRP for liquidity purposes sooner rather than later. So the question is then, okay, we've magically resolved it. Where does the price go? It's easy to project that it's a double-digit number. So I think it immediately shoots up to a $10, potentially $20. The wild card to me is that there is actually a deal to be done among the central banks and governments to basically have XRP work as the world's bridge currency, a neutral asset that can be traded between the central banks to move a specific type of fiat to another type of fiat. If that's what occurs, it's back to what we were discussing earlier. It's got to cover kind of all the money. And I think you're looking at a range that XRP would settle on agreement. So this would happen instantaneously, somewhere between $10,000 and $35,000 a coin. And our lives will be, maybe the same, maybe different. I don't know. Probably a little different.
All right. Now, with all of that being said, I'm going to conclude the video here, guys. Again, I'll be leaving all links down below in the description. But it's very important to understand that while the market is currently in the red, this is a very temporary retracement. I mean, we're going to see the biggest bull run probably commence. And this is something that typically always happens before a massive bull run. You get a retracement, one that, fears people get scared of. It creates a lot of fear. So you have a massive sell-off. But then you suddenly get up a massive rebound. And obviously that is when most of the people make money. Those that sold lose, but those that hold end up profiting. And those that buy the dip profit even more. And you guys can clearly tell by what's happening right now. Like, look at the price of Bitcoin. It just instantly went up $175 in the last couple seconds. And it's going to continue to go up. And again, look at it right now. It's up 84,140. So this rebound is going to happen. And we're going to see it happen very, very, very quickly. A lot quicker than I think a lot of people expected. We're going to see a massive rebound. And the price is going to then continue to soar. So get yourself ready. You got to be putting yourself in the right position. You want to get into projects right now when there's a dip. You want to get into projects early. And again, one of the big ones out there right now is in fact this one right here, and I'll be leaving a link for it down below. This thing, once it surges, it's going to create history. Once it gets listed, also going to create history, and millionaires will be made. So again, I'll be leaving all links down below in the description. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I'll see you next time, and peace.